Shalom, giving all praises, acknowledgement, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakaha, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that have taught us this truth and they continue to teach us. And Shalom to our brothers doing this mighty and powerful works. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, which means He exists, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the beloved Son, who the world would ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Yahweh Shai meaning He deliverer. Bahashem just means in the name. So right now the American
France just pulled all of its gold out of the United States.
Right now the American economy is in free fall. These nations are moving against America. They're selling all the U.S. debt. They're ditching the dollar. You have Mexico going fully digital. And then you have 70 countries coming together to pretty much get Ben Satan and Trump for war crimes. So America is losing its power in the world, especially now that Iran has closed the straits and oil is not being sold with the American currency. So here we have a few videos, man. There's a lot of videos of people, watching current events, global news. France pulls gold out of U.S.
States and moved it all the way back to Paris. And in the process, they made $15 billion. This is quite interesting. According to data from the Bank of France, the country owns 2,432 tons of gold, making it the fourth largest holder in the world. 5.3% of their gold, or 129 tons, was kept in New York. Now, that gold in New York was not up to the standard that Paris wants, and so what they did was, instead of shipping it all the way back to France, they went ahead and sold high and bought low. From July 25 up until this past January, they made 26 different transactions. And so as they sold those gold bars in New York, they bought higher quality ones in France. And during that time, because of the flux in the market, they actually made some money. There are rumors going around that France did this to abandon the United States and pull away geopolitically, but there is no evidence of that. It's honestly just
their actions is evidence. Someone commented, France knows the US dollar is dying. No shit. Then another comment, the euro should be the new currency, trade in oil worldwide, dollar is dead. What they're doing is globally killing the dollar. All right.
Just France looking at a very good deal and figuring, if we sold at this price, we can make some money and then we can just buy more stuff later at the quality that we wanted at. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below.
You got to think about it too. The elites got to make things make sense for these people, because they can't just one day, no more dollar. They got to set up global digital currencies. Right now you have BRICS. They have digital currency. It's because they're going for that new world order to get rid of money and bring in the mark of the beast. All right, the microchip. They're going to put all your digital money on it if you take it.
The United States just lost a war it didn't even know it was fighting. While Washington celebrates military victories and economic growth numbers, the real battlefield has shifted to something much more dangerous: the war for the global payment system. This week, something unprecedented happened in the shadows of international finance. Brazil quietly activated the BRICS bridge system, and for the first time in 80 years, major economies completed cross-border transactions without touching a single U.S. bank.
You hear that? Major transactions without touching a single US dollar. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and 1. Remember now the Creator, thy Creator, in the days of thy youth. Yeah, because people want to wait till they get old, till they live a long life to see God. While the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So seek the Most High right now, not when the day of evil is damn near about to come upon earth, is about to happen. That's when people want to see God, when there's everything is over. When the economy collapses, when there's no more jobs, when there's sedition, that's when people want to see God. But no, seek him right now, because he's about to show why he's not happy with none of his people. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. So while stuff is kind of normal, you can move around, it's just a regular day, before evil comes, seek the Most High. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. So we're approaching that day where the economists, the people that work in Wall Street, that tend to the money, that tend to stocks, bonds, trading, the elites, they're also keepers of the house because they control the money flow. All right? They control the rig markets. And it says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. Now, house is the root word for economy. So all these people I listed, they're going to be in fear because the American dollar is going to be dead, KO'd, no value. And they're going to be forced to transition over to digital currency. And the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. So jobs is going to tighten up. There's only going to be few workers, like it is right now, that take on the role of 2 or 3 people. And eventually, there's going to be no jobs at all. From grocery store jobs, restaurant jobs, office jobs, downtown LA, business jobs, technical jobs, skill jobs, no jobs. And those that look out of the windows be darkened. So the CEOs, they're going to look and see that there is no future in this place, that everything's going to shit. And what are they going to do? File for bankruptcy and get rid of the jobs. Get rid of the workers.
The American media is not reporting this story, but I can tell you, as someone who spent decades inside the system, this is not just another trade deal. This is the financial equivalent of splitting the atom, and the explosion is coming. You see, the United States has enjoyed what we call monetary imperialism for nearly a century.
You hear that? Monetary imperialism. The American dollar has run and dominated the whole world. Now, I've did a lesson on it. Every war is a reconstruction of the monetary system. So this war with Iran, they're reconstructing the monetary system in favor of Babylon. And in order to save the American economy, they're gonna go fully digital, get rid of cash, coins. All right, the elites are gonna get rid of money because money cannot be tracked. All right, and they want that digital currency.
Every time you buy oil, coffee, or electronics anywhere in the world, those transactions flow through New York banks. Washington collects a tax on every trade, every investment, every breath of the global economy. But that monopoly just ended, and most people don't even realize it happened. My name is Paulo Nogueira Batista Jr. I served as executive director at the International Monetary Fund. I sat across the table from finance ministers of collapsing nations. I know how empires fall. They don't collapse from outside invasions. They collapse when their money stops working. And the American money is about to stop working. Let me explain what happened this week in Brazil.
He said empires collapse when the money system stop working.
Lula signed an executive order that sounds boring to most people, but this order just declared independence from the US financial system. Brazil can now trade directly with Russia, China, India, and South Africa using our own central bank digital currencies. No dollars, no SWIFT system.
So as you can see, the world is choosing to side with BRICS. They're tired of dealing with the dollar, and it's not just the dollar, it's the business that comes with Esau. Just the griminess, the taxation, the fee, the sanctions. Really, people are just tired of this damn devil. You know? Zephaniah 1:10. And it shall come to pass in that day, yet again, in that day. What's going to happen in that day? The stock market is going to crash. This war is already tanking the stock market. Saith the Lord, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate. So it's going to be breaking news. The stock market has crashed. That's the fish gate, where all the trading, where all the stocks are shared, and, you know, where the trade goes down. And then howling from the second, because it's going to go from the stock market right away to the economy. So economic collapse completely. No reviving the economy. All right? And a great crashing from the hills. So it's also is going to spread across the earth. Remember, the American dollar is very powerful, man. It's going to take a lot to bring it down. And what we're witnessing is bringing about the downfall. It's going to take the whole world to take down the American dollar. And that's exactly what the whole world is doing. So Brazil literally signed something to be free from the American banking system, from the dollar. All right. Over there, the oil is being sold, and Bitcoin is being sold in Chinese money and Russian money, the ruble, the I think it's called yuan. So yeah, man, this shit is free falling and a great crashing from the hills. So a global economic stock market crash and economic crash. Verse 11, how ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down. So all these people that trade, all these money-loving, money-hungry, goddamn devils or gremlins, man, y'all gonna be cut down twofold. Actually cut down. Yeah, and then also, money ain't gonna be shit, man. All right? All they that bear silver are cut off. So Most High is about to kill that dollar. He's about to kill tangible currency, which man thinks they're doing this, but it's the Most High that controls the kings. So really it's the Most High doing it, right? Amos chapter 5 and verses 16. This is what we're about to see. A lot of fucking crying out here. A lot of noise from people. Amos 5 and 16. Therefore the Lord, the God of hosts, the Lord said thus, wailing shall be in all streets. So a lot of crying. All right? That means there are going to be a lot of people out here homeless as well. All right? People are going to be crying because they're going to be priced out of life, man. Can't afford shit. Can't afford to survive. So they're going to be in the streets crying and shit. And they shall say in all the highways, alas, alas. And they shall call the husbandmen to mourning. So they're going to say, this is it. This is the end. Alas, alas means destruction, destruction. And they shall call the husbandmen to mourning. So people that got skills. And best believe the people with the skills are crying right now. The farmers, they're crying because fertilizer is made from oil. All right, and fertilizer comes from the Strait of Hormuz. So people are really crying. Then you got the truck drivers. They're crying because they're going to stations and there's no fucking gas. And such are skillful of lamentation to wailing. So people that got skills, they're going to be out here crying and shit about how fucked up shit is. You know? But wailing is a whole nother level of like crying in terror. Like a woman crying for her firstborn being slain or a baby being slain. That's what wailing is. It's crying from the soul. So yeah, man. That's what we're about to see, hear, and live through. Obadiah 1:7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. A lot of these countries that are getting over on America have literally made pacts, signed contracts, took in the presidents to their countries, seen everything. And yet, there are now enemies of America.
Hey!
No permission from Washington. Think about what this means. When Brazil sells soybeans to China, we no longer convert our reais to dollars first. We settle the trade instantly using blockchain technology.
See, that is so used when these countries sell any product. Sell soybeans or wheat, anything that they have, they don't no longer have to use the American dollar first and then the other countries got to change it to their money. No, they could sell it in the BRICS money. They could sell it in digital currency, whatever they have set up, other than the US dollar.
Backed by our central banks. The transaction is faster, cheaper, and completely invisible to US regulators. For 50 years, America's greatest weapon was not their military, it was SWIFT, the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications. Every international bank transfer in the world flows through this Belgian company controlled by the US Treasury until now. Till the BRICS bridge is not just an alternative.
See? Let him say that one more time.
Until now. In the world flows through this Belgian company.
So all the money flowed through this Belgium company, which is controlled by the U.S.
Controlled by the U.S. Treasury until now.
Until now. So it's going to take the whole world to bring this dollar down, which is all orchestrated, by the way. And it's happening.
Till the BRICS bridge is not just an alternative to SWIFT. It is a declaration of war against monetary colonialism, and it's working. In November 2024, Russia and China settled $20 billion in bilateral trade using this new system. In December, India and Brazil completed energy transactions worth $15 billion. By January 2025, South Africa joined the network. The numbers are still small compared to the global economy, but remember, every revolution starts with small numbers. The internet started with a few university computers.
The United States is currently facing a total economic breaking point. As of this week, 20% of the workforce is unemployed. To fund the military, the government...
See, we're just talking about whaling because people ain't gonna have no jobs. But the economy is shit that the job markets is barely alive.
And began stripping domestic agencies for parts. Starting with the United States is currently facing a total economic breaking point. As of this week, 20% of the workforce is unemployed.
20% of the workforce is unemployed.
To fund the military, the government began stripping domestic agencies for parts, starting with the shutdown of the National Forest Service on April 7th. The money is being diverted because the country is losing access to energy. On April 8th, the president revealed what he called nuclear dust. They conducted a massive strike that collapsed Iran's underground nuclear facilities. In retaliation, Iran has seized control of the Strait of Hormuz. They have restricted the flow of oil to only 10% of normal levels. To show that they can still fight back, Iran disabled a 200 million MQ-4C Trident drone today. The drone transmitted an emergency code and dropped 40,000 feet into the sea near Bahrain, proving the U.S. no longer has eyes over the water. Right now, 50,000 U.S. troops and thousands of Marines from San Diego are arriving in the Middle East. They're not there for a long-time war. They're there to force the Strait of Hormuz open by any means necessary. The U.S. has placed a 50% tariff on any country, like Russia or China, that continues to send weapons to Iran. This means the cost of imported goods in America will likely double in the coming weeks. Everything rests on this Saturday, April 11th. J.D. Vance and Jared Kushner are meeting Iranian officials in Pakistan for peace talks. The U.S. position is the ultimatum. Open the oil flow now, or the 50,000 troops begin a full-scale ground invasion. With the Forest Service shut down, you are responsible for your own emergency response. Stockpile necessities, buy shelf-stable food and medical supplies now. The 50% tariffs will make these items unaffordable.
Y'all see this shit, man? They ready to do it. FEMA, be prepared for a power outage. This is on FEMA. Then you have the government, the U.S. government, sending out a survival guide, a survival list.
Or unavailable by the summer. If the Saturday talks fail, the energy costs will skyrocket, beyond the reach of most families. The government is focused on conflict abroad. Your security now depends on your physical assets and your local neighbors. The window to avoid a total reset closes this Saturday, so get ready. The United States is
So yeah, man, they're all playing a role for the Great Reset. That's why Trump tweeted, this is about to be the greatest reset ever. They're about to reset the financial system, man. Completely reset it. I finished this. It says, Obadiah 1:7, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Yup. Esau, the so-called white man, specifically Babylon, have been deceived by their allies. All right, China being one of them. And prevail against thee. And now China got the upper hand. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and that wound is an economic wound and an actual physical wound when these nations launch missiles, nuclear missiles. Yeah, man, but these nations are wounding America right now financially. It says, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. Yep, these nations have ate well with you, specifically China, surpassing you in export goods and shipping. There is none understanding in him. That's Esau. Everything this guy does doesn't make sense. Like, if you treat your allies like shit and disrespect them, they're not going to want to be your allies, you idiot. You know? Yeah, man, I wanted to get that scripture. But let's get this one right here. Because, what does it mean for the citizens? They're going to be forced to fight against the government. 2 Ezra 15 and verses 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. So destruction is coming to the world, man. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So you're going to have everybody versus each other. You're going to have small race battles in between. You know, Jacob versus Esau. And it says, one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. So an uprising against the government. And it says amongst men. You women are going to fall back in line, man. Because it's a time of war. Ain't going to be no time to fuck around social media. Dudes gassing you up all day. Nah, man. It's a time of war. Alright? Sedition is lawlessness, chaos in the street. And it says, for there should be sedition among men, invading one another. So people going to break in people's homes. You're going to have some people that do it just because. You know, just because. They get to do whatever they want to do. And invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And now we see why they not going to regard Donald Trump and his cabinet, because they've just been lying to these fucking people to where the government can't be trusted no more. Verse 17, and a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Martial law, which give the military and the president complete control over you people. All right? The military is going to be deployed. You're going to have checkpoints. You're going to have guns pointed at you. And you got to identify yourself. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So the Most High is going to visit all these people for their pride, whatever it may be, you know. And for great tribulation, we're experiencing some time. We're about to experience some times where it's likened in the scriptures as a woman in travail. You know, a woman birthing someone, going in labor pains. So it says, and a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. Check out the movie Civil War. Dude thought he thought the prepper was friends. Him and the Doom's prepper was friends. And he said, shit, hell no. So neighbor against neighbor, man. People gonna turn on each other just to survive. But shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulations. So super extreme hard times is coming, to where out of desperation people gonna be moving. People gonna go back to their hunger instinct. Go back to their animal instincts. Like, these people are wild beasts, you know. So they're gonna be breaking into people's homes, doing whatever they can just to survive these times. But Lord willing, set upon into the point, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Hey, Shalom.